And we're so excited because we're doing Engage a little bit different this week.
Yep.
We so cherish Wednesday nights with you guys. I hope you know that. And with not being able to be with you guys this Wednesday night, we were like, we can't let this week go by without doing something.
Right. We gotta do something special because it's a special week, not meeting in person.
I know.
So where are we going, Kayla?
We're going, if I get it right, Black Bossum Knob.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty epic.
We're so excited. I've never been there. You know, all I've heard is great things from Jordan when he got to go last time.
It's beautiful. So we're gonna have a time of worship up there. It's gonna be really special. And just a quick word. But before we do that, we need to have announcements.
Announcements.
So, Kayla, take it away. We have
Okay.
Number one, personal word program.
Personal word program. So, you guys know we've been talking about this. We want to provide you with your own personal Bible if you don't have one, or maybe you have one that's you got when you were younger and you want a new one now, just to move forward, that you can have, that you can cherish your own personal word. And we want to be able to do that for you and make a way for that. So we have options. We can get it customized. It's going to be awesome, and that way you can have it with you at church and Engage and retreats.
So please text or just tell any of your leaders, Kayla or I, and we'd love to get you set up and order one for you. It's really special. We've had a handful of students already ask, and we're just really excited about this.
Yeah.
And the importance that I think we're realizing the importance of having our own copies of God's Word, and how cool that is that we get to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else, Kayla?
Okay, so we're still collecting materials for the McKissick Project. So
This is true.
if you had some ready for this week, just double up for next week. Some teams, I believe, don't count me, I could be wrong, but group 4 and 5 already brought in stuff this past week. They killed it. So go ahead and keep bringing that stuff in, and I think that's so awesome what you guys are doing. And we also, last week, we had winners. The 6th and 7th grade girls won the September challenge, so we're going to take them out. They want coffee from Starbucks. So, you know, for this month of October, we'll be collecting crayons and colored copy paper.
Yep.
That is a tongue twister. And whatever you guys want to do, whatever group wins, whether that's get food, get ice cream, whatever it may be, we'd love to do that together.
And we have an event coming up in November.
Ooh.
We're gonna have a bonfire.
Oh
and
my
lots of other fun things. So get ready for that, and we'll send out more information on that in an email soon.
Yes.
So get pumped for that. But let's get up the mountain. Let's worship.
Woo!
I will praise you in the mountains in my way. You're the summit where my feet are. So I'll praise you in the valleys all the same. No less God within the shadows. No less faithful when the night leads me astray. You're the heaven where my heart is. In the highlands, in the heartache, all the same. Oh, how high would I climb mountains if the mountains were where you hide? Oh, how far I'd scale the valleys if you grace the other side. Oh, how long have I chased rivers from the lowly seas to where they rise, against the rush of grace descending from the source of its supply. In the highlands and the heartache, you're neither more or less inclined. I would search and stop at nothing. You're just not that hard to find. Oh, I will praise you on the mountain. I will praise you in the mountains in my way. You're the summit where my feet are. gonna sing. No less God within the shadows, no less faithful when the night leads me astray. You're the heaven where my heart is. In the highlands, in the heartache, gonna sing. Oh, 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 how far beneath your glory does your kindness extend the path, from where your feet rest on the sunrise to where you sweep the sinners past. Oh, how fast would you come running if just a shadow moved through the night? Trace my steps through all my failure and walk me out the other side. Could there ascend that mountain, that valley hill called Calvary, but for the one I call Good Shepherd, who like a lamb was slain for me. Oh, I will praise you on the mountain. I will praise you in the mountains in the way. You're the summit where my feet are. I will praise you in the valleys all the same. No less God within the shadows, no less faithful when the night leads me astray. You're the heaven where my heart is. In the highlands, in the heart, it's all the same. Oh, oh, whatever I walk, wherever I am, your name can move the mountains wherever I stand. If ever I walk through the valley of death, I'll sing through the shadows my song of ascent. And wherever I walk through, wherever I am, your name can move the mountains wherever I stand. And if ever I walk through the valley of death, I'll sing through the shadows my song of ascent, my song of ascent. Oh, 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 my song of ascent. And from the gravest of all valleys come the pastures we call grace, a mighty river flowing upwards from a deep but empty grave. Oh, I will praise you on the mountain. I will praise you in the mountains in the way. You're the summit where my feet are. So I will praise you in the valleys all the same. No less God within the shadows, no less faithful when the night leads me astray. You're the heaven where my heart is. In the highlands, in the heartache, gonna sing.
Hey everyone, I just want to welcome you to the mountain. We are been up here. That was such a sweet time of worship together. I love that song. It's a cool setting because the song talks about worshiping God no matter where we are, right? In the heartache or in the highlands, all the same, right? And so as you look out there, you see the valleys, right? We're on top of a mountain right now, but you can see the valleys, and it really describes how our life is sometimes, how the valleys can be really low sometimes, but we're on these mountain tops. It's really special, and we can see everything. It's just beautiful, and that's kind of how our lives are, right? And we talked about this after our fall retreat last weekend. We started a series impromptu, like completely random, just talking about the mountaintop. And we talked about how in Matthew chapter 17, how at the Transfiguration, Jesus took 3 of his disciples up the mountain, and awesome things were taking place, right? And Peter was like, hey, this would be so awesome, Jesus. Like, let's set up a tent here, and I'll set up one for you and Elijah and Moses, and it's going to be awesome. And then, we know that God has called us not just to stay on the mountain, right? Peter was like, I want to stay here forever, but we know that God has called us to go. And sometimes it's into the valleys, but that's where he's called us to go, and we want to be faithful to that. And that was the last part of what we talked about, having great faith as we go. So this is going to be week 2. That was not planned, but we're doing it. And this week we're going to be talking about a story in Exodus 3, one of my favorite stories in the Bible. And you know it probably very well. It's Moses and the burning bush. And that's found in Exodus chapter 3, if you want to turn there. It says, Now Moses was keeping the flock of his father-in-law Jethro, the priest of Midian, and he led his flock to the west side of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. So he was on a mountain. And the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. Moses looked over, he saw this bush, and the bush was burning, yet it wasn't consumed. So it wasn't burning up, but it was on fire. It was pretty crazy. And so Moses said, I will turn aside to see this great sight, why the bush is not being burned up. And when the Lord saw he turned aside to see, God called him out of the bush, Moses, Moses, and he said, Here I am. That's Moses' response in that moment when God calls out to him from this burning bush. Just like we're on the mountainside right now, Moses had his flock with him, and he sees this bush that's just engulfed in flames, but it's not being consumed. And so he goes over to look at it, and God's like, Moses, Moses. And Moses' response, Here I am, Lord. And he continues on in verse 5. Then the Lord said, Do not come near, take your sandals off your feet, for the place on which you are standing is holy ground. And he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look at God. And so so Moses is on this mountain, he sees the burning bush, goes over, God's talking to him, and he says, I am the God of your fathers. And he's come to meet with Moses on the mountain. And then the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people who are in Egypt, and have heard their cry because of their taskmasters. So essentially God is saying, I have heard the cries of your people in Egypt. Moses was a Jew born in that culture and was enslaved to the Egyptian people. And he got out of that. He was raised in the household of Pharaoh. He left because of a predicament, and now God is coming to him saying, I am the God of your fathers, and I hear the cries of your people. Even though they're so far away from you, Moses, right now, I hear their cry, right? And this is good news for Moses, and God gives him a charge. God tells him what to do. He says, Come, I will send you to Pharaoh, that you may bring my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. So God's like, this is my mission, right? We're on this mountain. This is awesome. You see the burning bush. And I've come to you to tell you that I hear your people's cries. I hear the hardship that they're going through. And I want you to go to Pharaoh and to set my people free. That's Moses' mission. No pressure, right? But Moses says to God, Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the children of Israel out of Egypt? Moses knows the weight of this task. He knows that all of his people, his family is enslaved to these people, and God tells him to go and set them free and tell Pharaoh to let them go. And Moses immediately thinks about his own strength, right? He's like, who am I to do this? I don't have the strength in my body to do this or to comprehend this mission that you have for me, God. And God completely ignores the question and says, but I will be with you. That's what he says. And that's just the short message that we have for you today. And for me is that no matter if you're on the mountain or in the valley, it doesn't matter. God's promise to you as you go in faith, right? That his promise, the greatest promise that we have as believers, is that God has said to us, I will be with you. That is something that we can celebrate in, whether we're here or way down there, because God is still faithful. He's the same God up here as he is down there, and he's called us to go. And so I'm looking forward to the rest of the semester. This was hopefully the last weekend that will be whatever this is, like outside of the loft. So hope to be back next week in the loft with you guys. Love y'all, and I'm praying for you.